podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and I'm live. I'm sorry I'm late. It's been a busy 2 days. I did have to take last night off. Like I said, I am in Louisiana, spending time with family, so had some family stuff last night, so was not able to do your TNA recap, but I'm back here live tonight for your go home show for your SmackDown recap. Tomorrow is Backlash. This has been a super long week. So, yeah. Before I get started, obviously, a couple of announcements. I have already put out on X, not this coming up week, but the following week will be Saturday Night's Main Event, followed by Clash in Italy. The week after that, I have filled all of those spots. But I did make a post, so like if you guys are still interested, you can always put your name on the list, and if somebody drops, then I'll add you to it. Just retweeting that I'm live. Let's see. Go ahead and post it. Sure that I guess there's other people live right now. I'm not sure. Couple things I want to go over before we get started. But yes, the Saturday Night Main Event and also the Clash in Italy PLE prediction shows are already full, but like I said, things come up, people have to cancel. It's still a couple of weeks out, so definitely get your name in there. I'll put it on the list. It just made the list, and I'll keep up with it. And if somebody drops, because we have a couple of new names coming on for Clash in Italy, obviously a couple, I think one or two for Saturday Night Main Event. We had a really good turnout. Thank you to everybody from the two newest members of WWE, obviously for the help, for helping the promotion and stuff for the Backlash PLE. I believe we had like close to 1,200 views or something like that. So thank you to you guys for that. It was a pretty good show. I'm gonna start off this show a little bit differently, and then obviously we'll get into SmackDown. So I was away yesterday, but I'm still never away. So I just want to talk about a couple of things with TKO. Obviously, hopefully I don't get copyrighted. I have to watch what I put on here now. Obviously, TKO and YouTube, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. I'm just going to say my piece on it. I'll talk a little bit more about it on Scoop Sunday. But I'm just going to say my piece because I really feel like, it's taken away from a lot of work that these content creators, and I'm not, I'm somebody small. Like, I'm not even a year in. I'm talking about your mini portables, your comments, Santi Zap, Denise, Wheezy Blonde. I've seen all this stuff online. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Like, you guys already make enough money. I'm not trying to get, my YouTube channel kicked. I'm not going to be putting up any type of wrestling music or photos or anything like that because everybody's been getting copyrighted on YouTube. And from what I gathered from talking, I did shave. I did shave. Um, yeah, I had some gingerbread it stuck in there. I had a lot of gingerbread stuck in there. That was a lot of months of growing that beard out. I want to talk about this, because not a lot of people are speaking out about it because either they're afraid to speak out about it or they're worried their channel is going to get shut down. But I mean, I'm just a little bitty fish, so yeah, I don't think they're really concerned with me. I'm not monetized. But I'm speaking out for these other big people that I had personal conversations with, like Wheezy Blunt and Minnie and Conman, Sanchez App, and a lot of them. They lost like a lot of stuff. Like they're getting copyrighted, getting stuff taken off of Instagram. My point to all of this is like I'm not. This has nothing to do with the cuts. Like it don't. Like I mean, all that shit. All that sucks. It does. But this is just. I mean, so what my point is you guys are putting clips from all of these content creators on on TV shows. Like I've seen them. I've seen Conman's reactions. I've seen Santi's app. I've seen Mini Portable. Wheezy just did a show with Trish Stratus. Denise is all over the place. Mona, people like that. Like, and you guys are just gonna start wiping them out, like Instagram, TikTok, like copyright strike. Like, are you guys that fucking greedy? Like, for real? Um, it's like they're targeting the people that are monetized. I don't know. I'm not, so I don't think they're really going to come after me. I have 220 something, 223 subs, but these are the people that have been doing this shit for a long time. Obviously, I don't know all of them personally. I've had conversations with a couple of them, but it's fucked up. Like these people are putting your product on the fucking like putting it out there. For I mean, I do it too, and everybody else that does YouTube shows and stuff like that. But you guys, it's getting ridiculous. Like, I mean, you can't even put pictures up of anybody. Like, I don't even know if they're gonna strike me for my fucking intro video. Because it has a little bit of somebody's music in it. But I can't put pictures up. Um, I'm just giving the warnings out to everybody right now. Like YouTube and TKO, like they're coming after these huge content creators. I don't understand it. I don't know why they're doing it. You know, they don't mind putting their fucking reactions on a TV show, but then they're gonna come after their channels and come after their Instagrams and their TikToks, like Wheezy and Minnie. Like they don't even want to post anything on it. I mean, they lost thousands and thousands of followers and all of that. Like I seen comments post on X. It's just I don't know the whole logistics behind it, but it's ridiculous. Like it seriously is. I mean, these people live and breathe YouTube. I mean, I don't know if it's their only way of making a living because, like I said, they're not. I'm not personal friends with any of them, but I respect every one of them and what they've done for this community. and the type of work that they put out. So I think it's fucked up. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, and nobody else is gonna say it on a YouTube stream, but I'm gonna say it. I think it's fucked up. Um, you know, these people are like I said, some of these people, it might be their only income, like, and so what, you guys got to get a cut, like, of fucking whatever YouTube pays, which I don't know how much it is because I'm not monetized, but I don't know. I'm blown away. I've seen this shit over the last 2 days, and I'm just like, man, like, you got to watch what you say. Like, you got to watch what, you can't put out like video clips. Like, you know, if anybody else has seen anything that I'm talking about, obviously you can comment on it. And please like the stream. Obviously, if you guys are watching live on YouTube. Yes, I have shade, by the way. I'm sure Eval Stampede noticed really quick. Yeah, the gingerbread run. He put crumbs in there. I might get a copyright strike for that. It's crumbs, but yeah, I did shave. It was about 9 months. Took a long time, but to an range match, but not height. Don't know how the match is going to be. It's going to be a great match. Roman's got a lot of big matches coming up with the bloodline, so stay tuned for that. What's going on, Raymond? Good to see you. But yeah, just closing out, like, to all you content creators out there, like, just giving you guys a heads up, like, they're coming after you. They're coming after us. So I don't know if this new club WWE thing that John Cena is going to be talking about tomorrow at Backlash is going to be for content creators. I don't know, but if you're going to clip people's content creators' fucking reactions and put it on Raw or SmackDown or PLE or something like that, then don't go after them, man. Like, that's, I mean, you guys are making fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it's not worth it. Like, let people be, let them do their job. These people are giving back to this community. They don't harm anybody. I think it's fucked up. I really do. What destroyed WWE and instruction was put in shows like Total Bella, Total Divas, and not to mention Unreal that spoiled it. Even Part Timers come and destroyed it. I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of things I have to say. Appreciate that, Raymond. Yeah, I thought shaving would bring me some good luck, but today's been a pretty shitty day. But appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Stampede, I might want to change that to crumbs. But yeah, I can't play I gotta watch. I can't play Cody's background music anymore because they're gonna copyright it. YouTube is fucking. Instagram and TikTok and all that. Like, they're not really doing anything about AI and stuff like that. But if you're posting like videos and stuff like of the events, or these are big time content creators. These people have 200,000 subscribers. I don't know what they make. It's none of my business, but at the end of the day, like, these people are, they're giving back to this community. Like, I'm not saying we're peons, we're not, but like, these people are the fucking top tier of the content creators. So like, why go after them? Like, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make sense. I think it's stupid. So, but I'm just a small fish in a big pond. But I've never been one to bite my tongue. Like I said, I don't know most of them. I've had conversations with Wwe. I've seen Minnie around. I haven't talked to her. I know she's a fantastic person. I watched a lot of her and Weezy's content. Comman's great, super nice guy. You know, they're all like Senchi's up, like they're all fucking, you know, great people. I just think it's crazy what's going on right now. If you guys don't know, then you know, go look at comments, Twitter, and kind of see everything you need to know. But so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see. I followed you on Instagram since my other account got there you go. Then that's what's happening. I will check it on Raymond once we're done, but that's what I'm talking about right there. Is the yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Instagram and all that's been it's not yeah, it's I don't know what they're doing. I don't but it doesn't look good is all I can say. It doesn't look good for the content creators. Um but yeah, it doesn't look good at all. Like I said, I don't know if you guys have seen that. I will follow you back, Raymond, but I appreciate that. Um, let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. It's a 3 hour show. But yeah, I just want to say a shout out to all those content creators out there. I'm sorry about what you guys are going through. I think it's fucking shit. Um, you know, I don't know if they're gonna come after my Instagram next. Like, I don't know. You know, um, I have to be really careful on there about what I post. So yeah, I don't know who is going to be released. As far as I know, there's not going to be any more releases as of now. So, and I can tell you, I've seen this stuff online. Cody Rhodes did not take a 50% pay cut. So I've seen people reporting that. It's absolutely false. I mean, you guys are just y'all are tripping, man. Like this guy is fucking one of the top 5 in the company and merch. Like he did not take a 50% pay cut. Somebody said that on a show yesterday, and I really wanted to comment, but I can't because you know I'm trying to be different. Cody Rhodes did not take a 50% pay cut. So whoever said that, like, you really shouldn't even be putting that shit out there. Um, you know, it didn't happen. Cody did not take a 50% pay cut. So just stop it with the Cody hate's ridiculous. Like, I know you guys are going to be Gunther fans for the next month or 3 weeks. But that's fine. But like, he didn't take a fucking pay cut. He's got his own tour bus. Like, the guy's got a fucking show. You think he took a pay cut? Get out of here, man, with that shit. I wonder if it has to do with what some of the content creator would be saying in relation. Yeah, in relation to their current product. No, it don't. Stampede. I mean, it could. I'm not, you know, just disparaging what you're saying. You're my guy, but it seems like you know, for me, it's from what I gathered from like listening to comment and stuff. It's like, you know, they want to clip like a lot of these like mini, and I've seen, you know, Wheezy and comment all them like their reactions and stuff like that. They want to clip all that shit, but then like um but now they're like starting to take their Instagrams down and their TikToks, and it's just I don't know. I don't know if TKO wants a part of these content creators fucking money when they're the ones that's out here, you know, putting the product out there. Like, you know, they're spreading it to 200,000 people a piece. Like it's, you know, I'm just a small fish in a big pond, but this is ridiculous. Like, if they won't fucking, I mean, they can't be that fucking money hungry. Like, it's ridiculous. Stop it. Like Cody's the top guy in WWE, he's my favorite wrestler. I don't like the Cody hates. Yeah, it's so forced and ridiculous. I literally get on X and post my stuff, and I stay off of there for the most part, unless I'm like in Messenger or something, because I can't read that shit. People are just. I know you have Stampede, and I actually do like Gunther. I do think he's probably winning. I think they teased a Cody Hill turn with Paul Heyman down the line. Is what it seems like to me. Um, I could be off. They may never pull the trigger. I know you've been a fan. I'm not talking. You're definitely not who I'm referencing to. There's a lot of hate Cody forced. It doesn't matter who Cody's going against. Everybody's rooting for the other person. But he's probably losing. He probably will lose. I know Randy's due back. Um, he doesn't really have a broken wrist, but that was WWE's false information there. But he's taking time off. But he's going to be back like in June, I think, or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, they may put the title on Gunther. I don't know. Cody's a better chaser. Um, I don't think this is the last time you're going to see Cody with that title. We'll see. I mean, I can't see them having Gunther lose, moving him over to SmackDown after all the people he's retired, but, we'll see. I really like Cody in RH, New Japan, AEW, and WWE. Yeah, I know. I mean, and but that's the thing. Like, you don't like him, but you don't post about him, and these people are like posting about this guy like it's every fucking day. Like it's like insane. Like I don't know. I mean, his character kind of sucks. It does. I mean, I like Cody, but I want to change. This whole I'm not hard to find. I'm hard to beat thing. I mean, it's just another catchphrase. Like, let's turn him heel. Like, if he loses, like to Gunther, I don't know that because maybe they are setting up. Maybe he is going to eventually go to Paul Heyman. Maybe that's how they get to Cody Punk. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the fuck they're doing. And what I did say on Scoop Sunday, which everybody said I was wrong, was Gunther and Roman was 100% scheduled. Was 100% scheduled. It was 100% happening. Literally said it, and Meltzer reported it today or yesterday. After like they had the whole program planned out, but Brandy either it's banged up a little bit, taking some time off, so they shifted. Like they moved Gunther over to SmackDown. Cody had to have an opponent. Obviously, they wasn't sure, about Cody as far as if he was going to be able to come back and get cleared to defend and all of that. So, but yeah, they pivoted. Now I guess if Gunther's still a champion in October, you could do like a Roman Gunther, like at Crown Jewel or something like that. But Gunther and Roman was originally planned, but they pivoted. So I mean, I said it, and then it's been reported afterward. It's because they were supposed to follow up with the Randy stuff, but obviously he's taking a little bit of time off. Um, but Gunther should win. I mean, I'm a Cody fan, but Gunther should win. Like if WWE's booking is, you know, it would be dumb to have Gunther lose. I think, unless Punk gets involved or something that helps Cody. I don't know. I don't. I mean, it's kind of like Cody's gonna be they're doing everything they can to keep him getting cheered. It feels like because obviously Gunther's going to be the heel in that match 100%. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Gunther probably wins the title in Italy. I mean, I'm okay with it. There's a lot of people I'm not. I wouldn't have been okay with beating Cody. But Gunther's obviously not retiring Brock, I guess. So he's got to have something to do. He just retired, some of the top legends in the business. So you can't have him lose. And Cody's already beat him once. So I don't see WWE ever pulling a trigger on a heel turn. I would just keep Cody's face. Honestly, I don't know what WWE is doing. Yeah, they have to turn him. Raymond, they got to turn him. Eventually, like, it's gonna get so bad that he's just gonna get booed out of every arena. They gotta turn him. I don't know when, but like I said, Paul Heyman kind of teased it tonight. But I don't know when it's gonna happen. But I think Cody drops in Italy. Gunther was strong. It'll be a better match. They set it up pretty well at the Rumble. They were the last two in the Rumble. So and that was planned, but they pivoted because of Randy. So all right, so I'm like 27 minutes in. It's a 3-hour show. We're gonna try to book through this, quick as possible. Scissor Smackdown recap live May 8th, 2026. It is the go home show before Backlash. Cody had a weight belt thrown back at him from the crowd in AEW, and he still wouldn't turn heel. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take, but they did tease it tonight. Paul said something about just from the promo. I mean, or either Paul's gonna, or either Punk's gonna go heel and Paul's gonna be on his side. I don't know. It's one of the two. I'm sorry, they got to turn him. Like, I don't know. If he drops the title, I don't think Gunther goes on this historic run, because Randy's going to come back. That's why I don't know if they're going to take the title off of Cody. I don't, because I feel like if they're going to put 15 on Randy, it needs to be at SummerSlam. That's where it started. That's where he got his first title. I mean, they're not going to do a Randy Gunther. It's two heels, unless they're just going to forget Randy punting Cody and all that. WWE does do that a lot, but I don't know. We'll see. A lot of stuff to talk about on Scoop Sunday. A lot of different stuff. I told you guys about JC Jane. Another victory over a legend tonight. She's already, she beat Charlotte Flair. She beat Alexa Bliss tonight. Jay Cargill's back. Somebody mentioned that, I think, in a prediction show, that Jay would be coming back probably to get a rematch. It looks like they're setting up for that. They also look like they're about to tease a Jade Charlotte. And they also looks like they're teasing a Rhea Lash Legend feud too. So I'm looking forward to that. Rhea needs some challengers, but JC is, she's a real deal. So, all right, let's get to it. This is the go home show. SmackDown is 3 hours, obviously, in end of June, 1st of July. They're going back to 2 hours. Tonight was from the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. This is the WWE Backlash go home show. We're going to see the WWE Women's United States Champion, Tiffany Stratton, defend her title against Kiana James. Plus, WWE's Women's SmackDown Champion Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss will take on Fatal Influences, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Laney Reed in a 6-woman tag match, which was a really good match, I thought. Paige actually got busted open tonight by Nia Jax. That was interesting. And also, we're going to have Damian Priest going up against one half of the tag champion, Damian Priest, going up against MFT's Tala Tonga. And then during, obviously, the funeral for the gingerbread man. Not too interested in that. The ring general, Gunther, will appear. Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu will kick off SmackDown. So the show opens up with a graphic in memoriam for Ted Turner. In case you guys don't know who that is, he was the one that basically on, I believe, WCW, Atlanta Braves at one time. He did pass away, so rest in peace to Ted. And then we take a look back at the Jacob Fatu Roman Reigns match with a video package. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on commentary welcome us to the show as the Samoan Werewolf. Jacob Fatu's music hits and he makes his way down to the ring. Jacob Fatu then grabs a mic and starts off by saying tomorrow night at Backlash, he is not fighting Roman Reigns. He is not fighting Roman Reigns for that title. I don't know what just happened. Just 1 second, guys. I had something pop up on my screen here. Get back to it just a second, guys. Sorry about that. All right. All right, so Jacob says that tomorrow night at Backlash he is not fighting Roman Reigns for that title. Jacob Fatu then says he has taken that title. Fatu then says since they were young, all everyone saw in Roman was the future. Jacob then says all they saw in him was nothing. Jacob then says they want to talk nice to him and tell him to fall back and fall in line. Jacob then says, hell no. Jacob then says he saw this before with Roman. Jacob then says history repeats itself. Jacob Fatu then says everyone talking to him aren't trying to protect him, they're trying to protect Roman. Jacob then says when Roman was born, he was born with opportunity. Jacob then says he was born with doubt. And then the Usos music hit, out comes Jimmy and Jey Uso as they make their way down to the ring. Jimmy says they are not out here to change his mind. Jimmy then says what they say won't change what happens tomorrow. Jimmy then says he is proud of Fatu being in the main event of Backlash against Roman. Jimmy then says he respects Fatu because he knows where he is coming from. Jimmy then says part of him is rooting for Fatu, but the other part is looking out for Fatu. Jimmy then says they know how important this W is for him. Jimmy then says, have you sat still and wondered what happens if you lose tomorrow? And obviously at that point, Jay chimes in. Jay chimes in and says, Jay then says, Fatu didn't think about that. Jay then says, you pop off the rails like he does. Jay then says, tomorrow night, the tribal chief is going to beat that ass. And he said, win, you lose. Jay then says, that ain't the worst damn part. Jay then says, the worst part is that he will break you down emotionally and physically. Jay then says, he going to do all of that to you in front of your family. Jimmy then says, tomorrow your family will be front row watching this. Jimmy then says, if you lose. Jay then says, when you lose. Jimmy then says, your wife and children will have to acknowledge the OTC Roman Reigns. Jimmy and Jay then raise their wands to the air. Jacob Fatu then says, hell no. Jacob says he is going to break it down for them. Jacob then says he is not losing. Jacob then says he can't lose. Jacob says you're trying to lace him up about losses to Roman. Jacob then says to Jay, you never beat Roman. And Jay got upset about that. Jacob then says, Jimmy, you're saying if he loses. Jacob then says there's no losing or acknowledging. Jacob then says this is not just the main event. This is for his family. Jacob then says if there's one thing his family will see him do, it is becoming the new WWE champion. Jacob then says, "Is Roman ready to die for his family?" Fatu then tells them one more thing. Fatu then says, "Tomorrow, if you two think about interfering in the match, he swears to God he will burn this whole effing family tree down." What a promo from Jacob Fatu. Obviously, I have to watch what I say on here because everybody's getting copyrighted right now. So, yeah, what a great promo, great opening segment. They built this match really well. It's the biggest focal point of Backlash. Now that we're going to get Cody Gunther in Italy, obviously Roman's going to have a big title defense there. So Clash in Italy is going to be is shaping up to be a lot better PLE than what we're going to get tomorrow at Backlash. We're going to have it looks like we're going to have quite a few titles on the line in Italy. So we take a look back at Cody Rhodes last week against Ricky Saints and what Gunther did after the match. Cody just kind of fell out after just a little bit of a sleeper. We then see Kathy Kelly in the back with Nick Aldis. She brings up that Gunther is scheduled to be here. Nick then says what Gunther did last week was unacceptable. Nick then says Gunther is a part of Raw. Ricky Saints interrupts and he says they should be talking to him. Ricky then says he had a great debut last week facing the QB1, and now you guys have him facing the QB4. Matt Cardona and comes out to address Ricky Saints. He then says he is not here to pass the torch, but to run with it. So one-on-one tonight is going to be Ricky Saints and Matt Cardona. So we then see Nick Aldis tell Jacob Fatu to get ready for tomorrow, and then Royce Keith pops up to talk to Jacob. It's like them two are gonna be teaming up or doing something together soon. He says he heard what his cousin said. Royce Keith then said fear is not an option. Royce says when Jacob was afraid of anyone breathing. Royce says when was Jacob ever afraid of anyone breathing the same air? Royce then says they take what they want. Royce continues to walk and he sees Solo Sikoa. He then tells Solo to be very, very careful what he says. Solo then says, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. He then says there's a place in his family for Royce, but time is running out. So Solo's still trying to recruit Royce Keys. So obviously prayers and thoughts out to Chelsea Green. She obviously has something. I don't know the exact prognosis. Something to do with something with her heart, irregular heartbeat. That apparently she's had for quite a while. And I guess they fixed it, and she's in recovery. Doing well. So yeah, she did a video tonight. See a video from Chelsea Green, and she says she wanted to wish Tiffany Stratton luck, even though she could not be there. So well wishes to Chelsea Green, speedy recovery. Hope to see her back soon. So the new Women's United States champion makes her way down to the ring for the first match of the night, where she will be defending against Kiana James, accompanied by Julia. So the match starts off with both women locking up, and Kiana pushes Tiffany away, and Tiffany pushes back. Kiana sends it in a side headlock. And Tiffany with the reversal. Tiffany then has a slingshot headlock takedown. Tiffany then hits a clothesline. Tiffany then hits an Irish whip, and James floats over. Tiffany then sends James to the apron, and James hits a kick, and she rings the leg into the ring post. They then return to the ring, and James hits a suplex. Kiana then hits a kick to the hamstring. She works on the knee. Kiana James then hits a punch, and she chokes Tiffany in the ropes. Kiana James then sends Tiffany into the turnbuckles, and she hits a springboard knee to the leg tied up in the ropes. Kiana James then gets a near fall. Kiana then hits an Irish whip, but Tiffany hits an elbow. Kiana then hits several kicks to Tiffany to regain control of the match. Kiana then hits a knee DT and goes for a pinfall, but only gets a count of 2. Tiffany then hits several forearms. Oh yeah, I did miss that last night. I was spending time with the family, but congrats to Li Ying Lee. She defeated Ariana Grace 13 minutes 39 seconds. I did catch the highlights of it. So yeah, congratulations to Li Ying Lee for defeating Ariana Grace last night. I did see that. I didn't get to do the recap, but congratulations to Li Ying Lee for winning that second time women's TNA Knockouts champion. So Tiffany hits several forearms, but Kiana hits a kick to her back to the mat. Kiana then hits I had to sit on the information for like 2 weeks. Yeah, because that's what I don't like about TNA, man, is all their shows are fucking taped. Hate that shit. I didn't even see it. It's crazy that I do scoops and I didn't even see it. With me doing the recap shows, like I try to not to look at that because I mean I can't remember the last time I did a live show. I mean I don't even know a match they're having next week. I didn't even see a match advertised. You may know Stampede, but I didn't even see a match they have advertised for next week. Tiffany has several chops. She goes for a drop kick. Kiana holds on to the ropes. Kiana then sends it in a single leg crab. Tiffany then calls to the ropes and she gets there. Kiana then takes her time, releasing the hold, and Kiana kicks Tiffany to the floor in front of Julia. Kiana then wants to know why Julia didn't do anything. This is obviously setting up that breakup with Kiana and Julia. And I think Julia is going to be headed to Raw with Asuka. Kiana then wants to know why Julia didn't do anything. They return to the ring. Tiffany fires with several chops and forearms. Tiffany then hits several clotheslines and a handspring back elbow. Tiffany then hits a handspring cutter and a drop kick for a near fall. Kiana then hits a kick to the midsection, but she misses a running boot. Kiana then hits a thrust kick and a handspring into a round kick. Kiana James then hits a Death Valley driver for a count of 2. Kiana then hits several punches to Tiffany. Kiana sends Tiffany into the turnbuckles and hits several shoulders. Kiana then misses a shoulder in the corner when Tiffany moves, and Kiana hits the ring post. Tiffany gets Kiana up, and Julia gets on the apron. Kiana James then escapes and gets a roll-up, but the referee is tied up with Julia. So Kiana had a pinfall attempt right there, but Julia was distracting the referee unintentionally, but I don't know, we'll see. Tiffany then knocks Julia off the apron and she hits a forearm. And then she goes up top and she hits the prettiest moonsault ever for the 1, 2, 3. So that's just driving more dissension there between Julia and Kiana James. And your winner, still your Women's United States Champion, Tiffany Stratton. After the match, Kiana James and Julia have words. So here we go with that breakup. So we then go to the viewing room for the gingerbread man. And Sami Zayn shows up. Sami says he wants to know how this is happening. Nick Collison said people need closure, and he asks Sami to show respect for the proceedings. R-Truth then shows up. TNA Thursday Impact. TNA X Division title best 203 falls Leon Slater with Cedric Alexander. That's next week. Stampede. If Leon Slater successfully defends the X Division title, he would be the longest reigning TNA X Division champion in history. So that match is for next week. Yeah, I haven't seen any DOMs or matches or anything for next week. That's awesome though. 203 falls with Cedric and Leon. That should be good. R-Truth then shows up and he has a rose for Sami's loss. He then says he sees the family resemblance. Truth then says he was very proud of Sami and talked about him all the time. Truth then tells Sami to be strong. Yeah, I'm just not really into this whole gingerbread thing. We then see Kathy Kelly with Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. She asked about the match. Rhea said they wanted to make an impression, and they did. She then says they chose the wrong ones to attack. She then says why. That is why she is excited for tonight. Charlotte then says they can get their hands on them together. Charlotte then says she is trying to be a team player. Rhea then asks if Charlotte is trying to fight her on everything. Rhea then asks if there's going to be a problem, and Charlotte asks her too. Alexa then says they're both big and strong. She then says they have tagged before and they can do it again. Rhea then says she will be fine if Charlotte is. Charlotte then says she is fine. So obviously, looks like they're setting up a Rhea Charlotte 3. So we then see Damian Priest in the locker room, and R-Truth talks about Sami Zayn. Damian Priest says his mind isn't there. He then says he wants to get payback on Tonga for what happened last week. Truth then says they have to handle it, so let's go. Damian Priest then says Truth isn't 100%, so he needs R-Truth to stay back since they will go after him. R-Truth then says they are the tag champions. Damian Priest then says he is proud they are champions, but he doesn't want anything to happen to R-Truth. Priest then tells Truth to trust him. So Tala Tonga and Solo Sikoa then make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night, followed by Damian Priest. One half of the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest, goes one-on-one with the MFT's Tala Tonga. Match starts off with Priest hitting an elbow, and he sends Tala to the floor. Priest then hits a forearm off the apron, and he hits more forearms. Tala then hits a knee, but Priest hits a thrust kick. Tala then catches Priest on a cyclone kick, and Tala sends Priest into the ring post. Tala then hits a punch, and he sends Priest into the apron. Tala then hits a slam onto the announce desk. Priest then hits a big boot, but Tala hits a right hand. Priest then hits a spinning kick to the head, and Tala rolls to the outside of the ring. Priest then heads to the outside, and he jumps off the steel steps and hits a double axe onto Tala Tonga. Priest then hits a big boot onto Solo, who is sitting on a chair. Priest then sends Tala back into the ring. Priest then climbs the top rope, and he hits a flying clothesline. He then goes for a cover, but Tala kicks out. Tama Tonga then makes his way out, and that distracts the referee. Solo then gets on the ring apron, but Priest pushes him down. Priest then turns around, and Tala hits a clothesline. He then goes for a cover, but Priest kicks out. Priest then rolls to the outside of the ring. R-Truth's music then hits, and he makes his way out. R-Truth then hits right hands onto Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Tama then grabs R-Truth. Solo goes for the Samoan spike. Priest goes to the outside, and he pushes Solo into Tama Tonga. Priest then talks to R-Truth, but Tala hits a right hand. He sends Priest back into the ring, and then he hits a T-bomb choke slam for the 1, 2, 3. So the distraction was enough for Tala Tonga to pick up the win over one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest. After the match, R-Truth comes in to check on Damian Priest, and Tama, Solo, and Tala surround them, and then out comes Royce Keys. His music hits, he makes his way down to the ring. Solo, Tama, and Tala leave. Solo then thinks Keys is with them, so he does nothing. We'll see. I don't think he is, but could be possible. We then take a look at what happened with Danhausen, The Miz, and Kit Wilson last week. Danhausen tries to get people to sign up as his partner. Kit and Miz then show up, and Miz says Danhausen doesn't have a partner. Kit then calls Danhausen toxic. Kit then tells Miz to take their time and destroy Danhausen at Backlash. Kit then says the only person toxic enough to team with Danhausen is Danhausen. Danhausen then looks at the mirror and says that's a great idea. Danhausen gets up and leaves. Latest I've heard, like in the betting odds, Stephen A. Smith, Jelly Roll are in the top for being Danhausen's partner tomorrow. And the pre-show, I believe, does kick off at 4 p.m. Eastern, with the first hour of Backlash being on ESPN2. We then see Paul Heyman walking in the back. He is standing in front of the office of Nick Aldis. Paul Heyman then opens the door and walks in. And then they show back WrestleMania 3 with Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. Stone Cold Steve Austin being arrested, and John Cena celebrating winning the title. In the 3 pictures, we see the gingerbread man in attendance. They love the gingerbread man. So we go back to Paul Heyman with Nick Aldis in his office. Nick Aldis tells him everything they discussed is in the contract. Gunther shows up. Heyman gives him the contract. He then tells him as requested. Nick Aldis tells Gunther what he did last week was unacceptable. But with that being said, he is happy to have him on SmackDown. So Gunther is now officially a SmackDown member. As I've said, Sunday it would be. Gunther then asks Nick Aldis if that is really how he wants to talk to his future WWE champion. But on the television screen behind him, out comes the undisputed WWE SmackDown champion, American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We see Cody Rhodes walking down to the ring. Gunther then says this was his time. He then says he doesn't do business like this. He gives Aldis the contract. Gunther walks away, and Heyman tells Aldis he will handle it. So Cody gets on the microphone, and he asks Jacksonville, what do you want to talk about? Cody then says, last week Gunther showed that he is next in line. Cody then asks Gunther to come out and say it to him. And then out comes Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman interrupts, and he comes out with the contract. Paul Heyman then says there's a problem, and he is here to try to fix it. Paul Heyman then says he has a contract for a title match. Cody then interrupts, and he asks Heyman if he is the advocate for Gunther now. Cody then says if everyone is here, and they can do the match now. Paul Heyman then says he owes Gunther a favor. Heyman then says this is the favor he owes Gunther. Heyman then says he is an enormous fan of Cody Rhodes. Heyman then says that is why he wanted Cody to know that he needs a contract of if his undisputed title is at stake. Heyman then says the contract for the title match is not for Jacksonville, Florida. Heyman then says the contract is not even for the United States of America. Heyman then says the match against Gunther, if Cody accepts, will be in Turin at Clash in Italy. Heyman then says the favor for Gunther was to set it up. But if Cody wants Gunther's signature on the contract, he will have to do that himself. Heyman then gives Cody the contract. Cody then looks at Paul and says, Brock Lesnar retired on you. Roman wants nothing to do with you. CM Punk has discarded you. Cody then says Heyman is in the ring, and he has to ask. Cody then says, is it because Heyman is out of options? Paul Heyman looks at Cody and says, the way he looks at it, he's not the one running out of options. Paul Heyman then leaves the ring and says, sooner or later, they all need an advocate, wise man, whatever. There's your T right there. Sooner or later, they all need the wise man. So there was your T's right there. What does that mean? I mean, Cody's going to eventually team up with Paul Heyman. Gunther then comes to the crowd from behind Cody. Cody sees him coming from behind this time. Cody stops him. Gunther then cinches in a sleeper. Cody hits Gunther with the mic. Gunther then reapplies a sleeper, but Cody snapmares Gunther to the floor. Cody then asks if you want everyone to roll out the red carpet and kiss your ass. Cody then knocks Gunther off the apron a few times. He then asks Gunther if he sweats him because of what he did. If he said, "Do you think I sweat you because of what you did to Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles?" Cody then says on SmackDown, he is easy to find and hard to beat. So the match is official for Clash in Italy. Cody Rhodes will defend the Undisputed Championship against Gunther, which is the end of May. So it's not happening on Saturday night's main event, thank God. We then see Tama Tonga telling South Dakota that he has a problem to be dealt with. So then says he is a solution and a perfect fit for the family. Tama then says Royce Keys came in here and embarrassed him in front of everyone. He then says that doesn't sit right with him. He then says he will show Keys what he is all about. So then tells Tala if Tama wants to go out on his own, he can find out on his own. Matt Cardona then makes his way down to the ring for the next match of the night, going one-on-one with the absolute Ricky Saints. So the match was all with both men locking up, but Ricky hits a shoulder tackle. Ricky then goes to the rope, so Matt hits a shoulder tackle back. Matt then delivers a clothesline, grabs Ricky, but Ricky slams him into the turnbuckle. Ricky then hits a chop to the chest, but Matt hits a right hand. Matt then sends Ricky to the ropes, and he hits a flapjack and a clothesline into the corner. Ricky then goes to the floor to avoid the woo-woo kick. Matt then hits a drop kick through the ropes, and Ricky attacks the ringside barrier. Ricky has had enough, but he decides to return to ringside. Matt then hits several forearms, and Ricky hits a kick and a clothesline. Ricky fires back with several punches, chugs Matt in the ropes. Matt fires back with a forearm, and Ricky fires back with one himself and a knee drop for a count of 2. Ricky then chucks Matt in the ropes, and it's a splash to the back. Ricky then misses an elbow drop, and Matt hits a forearm. Ricky then holds the rope to avoid a drop kick from Matt. Ricky then hits an elbow drop for a near fall. Ricky then sends it in a reverse chin lock. Ricky then hits a knee to the midsection and a knee drop. Ricky then hits an Irish whip and a forearm. Ricky then goes to the rope for old school, and he hits it. Matt then fires back with a forearm, and Matt gets his knees up. Matt then hits a face plant with several forearms in the corner. Matt then sets up for his finisher and hits it, but Ricky Saints kicks out at 2. Ricky then avoids an unprettier with the forearm. Ricky then hits a twisted reverse DDT for a near fall. Ricky then sets up for a Roshambo, but Matt hits a backdrop. Ricky then goes to the floor to avoid the Rough Rider. Ricky then drops Matt on the top rope. Matt then delivers the Rough Rider, but Ricky Saints kicks out at 2. Ricky then hits a double thrust to the throat, followed by a tornado DDT, and then hits a Roshambo for the 1, 2, 3. So Ricky Saints gets his first main roster win over Matt Cardona. We then see Sami Zayn in the room with the casket, and he said this is an absolute joke. We then see that Sami is talking to Johnny Gargano. Finally seeing Johnny back on TV. Sami then asks if Johnny Wrestling is still there, and Candice LeRae walks up and shows, and she says that Johnny did not move. Sami then asks Ray Phoenix, what is he doing here? Ray then says he is paying tribute to the Gingerbread Man. Sami then says they are all supporting him. Ray then tells Sami this is not the place, and Sami agrees and walks away. So then we go back to the locker room again. I don't know how much wrestling we had tonight. Probably wasn't a lot. But we see the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Paige and Brie Bella walking in the back, and a ladder falls. One of them's cursed by Danhausen. We then see another vignette, which it was reported, I think earlier in the week, that it was going to be end of the month or so, or maybe June, before we see Blake on SmackDown. See Blake Monroe putting on makeup. She says she can take everything you love and make it hers. She then says she is coming soon. So look for Blake Monroe to be on SmackDown television here in the next week or two. So then WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Brie Bella and Paige make their way down to the ring. Brie says there are a lot of teams that say they have what it takes to beat them and beat champions. Brie then says they showed Nia and Jax that it is not easy to take the titles from them. Brie then says no matter who it is, the result will be the same. Paige then brings up the Judgment Day, which was interesting, and their talk about a nostalgia tour. Paige then says that is for has-beens. Paige then says they are the best they have ever looked and have ever been. Paige then says, step up if you want to step up. That should have been one thing that I did on my day off is take care of getting my phone. Sorry about that, guys. So she said that if Paige then says step up if you want to step up. And then Fatal Influence then interrupts. JC says she's heard enough. JC then says they obviously come to the ringside. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lanny Reed get another great entrance. JC says she's heard enough. JC then says you're in over your heads and you should not be worried about the Judgment Day. JC then says 2 weeks ago they dropped them in the middle of the ring. Fallon then says maybe you have been too distracted to see that they are taking over SmackDown. She then says that means taking those tag titles. Laney then says, why should they stop there? She then says there's plenty of gold to go around. Fatal Influence. She then says JC Jane will be the new Women's SmackDown champion. JC then says they have business to take care of, and you can go to the back to see what a real team is like. So Fatal Influence is not only, JC Jane is not only after that Rhea Ripley title, but Lanny Reed and Fallon Henley are coming after those tag titles. Out comes Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Nia asked, when did anyone say you could skip to the front of the line? Lash then said, this is not NXT. She then says they can't think they're going to get in the way for the titles. Nia then says they look like knockoff Mean Girls. That's funny. Lash then tells them to get to the back of the line, and Lash punches Brie and Paige. And I believe that at some portion of this segment, Paige got the top of her head busted open. Nia then hits a leg drop to Paige, and Lash hits the last extension to Brie Bella. And then out comes the WWE Women's SmackDown Champion Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night. Rhea then goes face to face with Lash Legend in the aisleway, teasing a potential matchup. And Nia grabs Lash and they walk to the back. A lot of heat right there from Lash and Rhea. We could see that soon. Maybe Italy. So we go to a 6-woman tag team match. WWE Women's SmackDown Champion Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss versus Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lanny Reed. The match starts off with Alexa and Fallon sends Alexa to the mat by her hair. Fallon celebrates, and Alexa hits several punches and kicks. Alexa then mocks Fallon Henley. Alexa then blocks a kick and hits the dragon screw. Alexa then hits several knees to the back and the ropes, and she pulls Fallon to the mat. Alexa then hits a double knee drop and a flip senton for a near fall. Lanny Reed then kicks Alexa, and Fallon takes Alexa down. Fallon then hit several kicks, and she choked Alexa in the corner. Laney Reed then tags in, and she hits an uppercut. JC then hits an uppercut in the corner and a backbreaker over the shoulder. Rhea then tags in, and she hits short arm clotheslines and a bell heel kick. Rhea then hits a face plant and a drop kick. She then knocks Fallon off the apron. Rhea then hits a fallaway slam to JC. Rhea then goes up top. She hits a missile drop kick on Laney Reed. Rhea then goes to the apron and she hits a cannonball on JC and Fallon. Fallon then grabs Rhea's leg and she kicks Fallon away. JC then distracts Rhea and Laney Reed hits a kick and she gets a near fall. Reed then hits a leg drop to Laney Reed, delivers a leg drop to Rhea. Laney then sends Rhea into the corner and Fallon tags in and she kicks Rhea. JC then tags in. She hits a cannonball for only a count of 2. Laney Reed tags in. She kicks Rhea and hits an elbow to the back of the neck. Rhea then delivers several punches, and Laney Reed hits an Irish whip and a knee into the corner. Laney Reed then hits a snapmare and a boot to the head. Laney Reed then gets a near fall. Laney then stomps on the arm. Laney then hits a punch, and she punches Charlotte Flair off the apron. Fallon and JC then begin to work over Rhea while Charlotte takes the referee's attention. JC then tags in. She snapmares Rhea and kicks her in the back. JC then goes for the pin and gets a count of 2. Laney then tags in. She punches Rhea. Rhea then fires back with several punches, but Laney sends Rhea back to the mat. Laney then keeps Rhea from making the tag. Laney hits a neck breaker. Rhea delivers a kick to Laney Reed, and Reed falls to the mat. And then JC Jane and Charlotte Flair get the tag, and Charlotte hits several clotheslines and chops to JC Jane. Flair then hits a walkover clothesline to JC. Flair then hits a kick to JC, and she hits a fall-away slam. JC fires back with an Irish whip, but Flair hits the flip and a boot. Flair then kicks Fallon off the apron, and Flair goes up top and hits a crossbody onto Laney Reed and JC Jane. Flair then hits a double natural selection for only a count of 2. JC kicks out at 2. Flair then goes for a natural selection while Alexa goes for a blockbuster, but JC and Reed deliver super kicks. JC then gets a roll up on Alexa for a count of 2. JC hits a neck breaker. But then out of nowhere, Rhea Ripley's out on the outside area. Jade Cargill, we haven't seen her on WWE television since WrestleMania. She comes and pulls Rhea Ripley off the side of the apron and into the ring steps. The referee does not see it. And then JC Jane hits the rolling encore to Alexa Bliss for the 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 weeks in a row. JC had a really good match with Rhea, no contest. She went one-on-one with Charlotte and beat her last week, and she got the pinfall victory this week over Alexa Bliss. The winners of the 6-woman tag match, Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Laney Reed. After the match, Jade enters the ring while Fatal Influence poses. They leave the ring to let Jade be in there by herself. Jade then stands over Alexa. She tells her to get up. Charlotte Flair is trying to make her way back into the ring to save her partner. But then out comes B5 and Meechin to stop Charlotte Flair. Rhea then hits a dropkick to Jade and a headbutt to Meechin. Rhea then hits a kick to B5. Jade then hits a bicycle kick. B5 then hits a full Nelson slam to Alexa. Meechin then hits a back heel kick to Charlotte while Jade stands on Rhea. So the Baddies 2.0 is back in full effect. So then we go to the back. We see Royce Keys walking in the back, and the Usos stop him. Jimmy says they saw him talking to Jacob. Jay then says he knows that Keys has ties to the family, but he has to stay in his own lane or he will end up catching the eyes of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and the Usos walk away. Tama Tonga then makes his way down to the ring for the main event of the night with the MFTs and Royce Keys followed. Going to be Tama Tonga versus Royce Keys. The match starts off with Tama hitting a drop kick. Tama then grabs Keys, but Keys sends him to the ropes. Royce then picks Tama up, and Keys hits a running power slam. Keys then hits a clothesline and goes for a cover, but Tama kicks out. Keys then hits several right hands and goes for a suplex. Tama lands on his feet. Tama then hits a chop to the back of the leg and goes for a cover, but Royce Keys kicks out at 2. Tama then goes to the ropes, but Keys hits an overhead throw. He then grabs Tama, but Tama hits a headbutt. Tama then hits a flatliner, and Royce rolls to the outside of the ring. Tama then goes to the outside, but Royce picks him up and slams him onto the ring apron. Royce Keys then runs toward Tama Tonga, who is next to the ring steps. Tama moves out of the way. Royce Keys hits the ring steps. Tama then slams Royce Keys' arm into the mat. Tama then hits a knee bar, and Keys hits several punches. Tama then hits a knee DT. Tama then hits a sliding clothesline. Royce then delivers several punches, but Tama hits a headbutt. Tama then works on the neck. Royce Keys then punches Tama, hits a jawbreaker. Tama then hits a dropkick, and he gets a near fall. Tama then sends it in a reverse chinlock. Tama then gets on Keys' back, and Royce Keys backs Tama into the corner to get free. Tama Tonga then hits a punch, and Royce Keys punches back. Tama then hits an Irish whip and a splash, followed by a swinging neck breaker for a count of 2. Tama Tonga then sets up for a tiger driver, but Royce Keys hits a back body drop. Tama then misses a splash into the corner, and Royce Keys hits several clotheslines. Royce Keys then hits a running shoulder tackle and several splashes. Royce Keys then hits a power slam for a count of 2. Royce Keys then gets Tama up, but Tama hits a reverse DDT for a count of 2. Tama then kicks Royce in the head. Tama then hits another kick, and it pisses Royce off. Royce sends Tama to the floor, and he gets him back into the ring. Solo then holds Tala Tonga back, and Royce Keys gets back into the ring untouched. Royce Keys then runs into a boot, and Tama comes off the turnbuckles, but Royce Keys catches Tama and hits him with a spine buster for the 1, 2, 3. Finally a big, huge win tonight for Royce Keys. After the match, Solo asks Keys to join again, and Keys leaves. We then see Danhausen in the back, and he has a potion going. Danhausen then takes the tooth out and puts it into the blue liquid. He then claps, and the lights go out. Danhausen then works on the potion and types on a computer. Sparks then fly, and lights go on inside a cloning machine. He then says in 24 hours he will have his tag team partner for Backlash, and they will take over the world at Backlash. His cloning the machine stops working, and Danhausen says it broke. He says, "Great Scott." So then we go to the back again. We see Tama Tonga distraught from the loss from Royce Keys, sitting in the back. Shinsuke Nakamura, which we haven't seen him in a little while, shows up. Shinsuke tells Tama that he is disappointed and now his own brother won't help him. But then Hikuleu Talatonga out of nowhere shows up and tells Shinsuke to stay away from his brother or else they're going to have some huge problems. Nakamura then speaks to him in Japanese and walks away. Can Shinsuke help Tama Tonga? So then Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett then go through the card for Backlash. Obviously, I'll run through it really quick. We got Seth Rollins versus Brian Breaker. Io Sky one-on-one versus Asuka. Trick Williams defended against Sami Zayn. Roman Reigns defended against Jacob Fatu. And Danhausen and a mystery partner against The Miz and Kit Wilson at Backlash tomorrow. So we then see Trick Williams walking in the backstage area. He's stopped by General Manager Nick Aldis, and he tells Trick that everything he requested is in place. Trick Williams then tells him he appreciates it. We then see that the ring is being set up for the funeral of the Gingerbread Man. Trick Williams then makes his way down to the ring. Trick then tells the production team to cut the music. Trick then tells the WWE Universe to bear with him, and hopefully he can get through this. Trick then pays his respect to the Gingerbread Man. WWE then airs a video package to dive into all the memories of the Gingerbread Man shared with Trick Williams and Little Yachty. Trick then says he wants a moment of silence for his friend, the gingerbread man. And then Sami Zayn then comes out to spoil the funeral of the gingerbread man. He calls it absolutely atrocious and ridiculous. Sami then says closing out an episode of SmackDown used to mean something. Sami then says he thinks Trick had made a joke out of him. Sami then asks Trick, he said, you spent all this money for what? Sami then says he wouldn't do that because he holds too much respect for SmackDown. Sami then says he is a working class hero who represents his ride or die fans till the end. Sami then reminds Trick of who he is. So you just gotten a cup of coffee here, basically. Sami then says he has done everything there is to do in WWE. Sami then says he's still standing 20 years in the game and isn't planning to go anywhere. Sami then says he hates to give it to Trick, but admits Trick got under his skin. Sami then says it's personal. He then promises to make a joke out of Trick this Saturday. Sami then says he's sorry for his loss, but he will see Trick tomorrow at Backlash, Tampa, Florida. Sami then hits the right hand. Sami launches a vicious attack on Trick, and then Sami raises the United States Championship, but the gingerbread man sits up. He then removes his mask, and it's Little Yachty. He then hits Sami with the candy cane stick. Little Yachty then begins to laugh. Trick then hits Sami with the trick shot. Trick's music hits, and the show comes to a close. So Little Yachty is alive and well. They did all that for I don't know what. But that was the end of SmackDown, guys. Once again, this has been your SmackDown recap, live May the 8th, 2026. It is the go-home show before WWE Backlash tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in to Backlash. It will begin, I believe, at 4 p.m. or maybe at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know, something like that. Maybe 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, or something. I don't know. It's a 2-hour pre-show, so I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern, so it'll be 3 p.m. Central. The pre-show, 2 hours, and then obviously we have 5 matches, and then there's going to be a post-show. So obviously, shout out to everybody from DWE, Miami the Great, Final Boss Baby, Director Reg, World of Greg, Director Reg, After the Slam, Kyle, Nap God, and famous Davis, I believe. I'm so bad with names. Sorry. Also, shout out to Stampede. He put crumbs instead of crumbs. Funny. Shout out to Peter, Raymond. And I think that is it. Once again, thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go ahead and go to my outro. I'm going to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up for the rest of this weekend and what I have coming up so far for next week.
Wrestling has more than one loyal fan.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Prediction Sports. Let go, show recaps prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, shout out to everyone that came in. Sorry I was about 30 minutes late. I was trying to log in. StreamYard, I don't know what's going on. The Wi-Fi here is awful. StreamYard kept kicking me. I thank for the 107 that tuned in to the SmackDown recap live here on the EVP show, the DWE TV page on X. Make sure your television page, make sure you follow that. Talk It Up Wrestling podcast. Get them a subscription on YouTube. The Smoke Session podcast, also After the Slam podcast on YouTube. Make sure you give all of them and everyone affiliated with Gimmick Table Media as well. And make sure if you guys tuned in live tonight, or if you go back and watch this video live afterwards, make sure if you guys can hit the like button. If I see any comments, obviously I will go back in and answer them. So, as far as where you can find me on my socials, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen in the blue. All my links are in my bio, obviously. But if you're looking for me on X, you can find me at EVPCJP. And once you get there, you can see up at the top, my YouTube is pinned at the top. So if you ever get a chance, make sure to hit that retweet. Share it with your friends. I think I'm up to 223 subscribers. Goal ultimately is to get to 300 by SummerSlam. So a ways to go, but definitely can get there. Just got to keep grinding away. But yeah, so send me a follow on X. It's at EVPCJP. Instagram and TikTok's a little flaky right now with all the content creators. But if you're looking for me on Instagram, you can find me at EVPCJP. It is a business page, and my YouTube page is pinned at the top of my bio. Also on TikTok, you can find me at Brady the Goat 21. That's at Brady BRADY DA Goat 21. Once again, that's at Brady the Goat 21 on TikTok. Last but not least, most importantly, please hit that like and subscribe button to my YouTube channel. Like I said, you can find it on any of my social media platforms. Also, it's in the bio on the DWE Television X page. It's the EVP show. If you are subscribed, please make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be reminded when I go live. If you're not subscribed, it's all over my social media platforms. But if you can't find it after looking through all that, you can go up to the search bar and type in at the EVP show, and you will see 900 plus live videos, a lot of shorts. I did put out a bunch of shorts from the Backlash prediction show. So you guys can go in there and check that out, retweet them. They are on my X page. Once again, a couple small announcements. The Saturday night's main event and Clash in Italy PLE prediction panels are full. I mean, Stampede's helping me keep up with the people as well. But I will take a list of a couple more names for each show, and just in case we have a drop, because those shows are a couple of weeks away. But as of right now, we have a full 10-person panel for Saturday night's main event and Clash in Italy coming up in 2 weeks, Saturday night's main event, and 3 weeks, Clash in Italy. So make sure you guys tune in for that. So what I have coming up next for you guys tomorrow, it is Backlash Day. But as soon as the post show goes off the air, I will go live somewhere between 9:45-ish to 10:15-ish, just depending on when it goes off. Probably wait about 20 minutes or so Eastern time. It will be the WWE Backlash recap show, where I will recap everything that went on WWE Backlash. And then Sunday, come back and join me for the third session of Doubleheader Sunday here on the EVP show. Come join me at 6 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of stuff to discuss, a lot of news after coming out of Backlash, or Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP episode number 20. And then come back later that night to finish out the doubleheader recap at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for LFG Season 3 episode number 3. And then next week, obviously back to regular schedule. There's no PLE. So Monday night, 11 p.m. Eastern time, you can catch me for the Raw recap show. And then Tuesday night, I'm back at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for the NXT recap show. And then Thursday night, maybe a little something tuned in with there. But as of right now, it will be your TNA recap show Thursday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. It could be some changes coming to that. Like I said, I'm in the process of I just traveled and still like trying to get everything settled. But Thursday night TNA recap show as of right now could be a mixture of TNA and AEW at the same time. We will see alternate weeks or something like that. We will see. I still have to get all that ironed out. But next Friday, tune in at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for your SmackDown recap show. And then I'm off. I'm off Wednesday and Saturday next week. But tune in next Sunday for doubleheader Sunday number 4. Come join me at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP, episode number 21. And then come back and join me for 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time to conclude doubleheader Sunday next week at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, LFG Season 3, episode number 4. So that is the rest of the schedule for me for this week and next week. Thank you guys for tuning in to the SmackDown recap show. This is the go home show right before WWE Backlash tomorrow. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoy your Saturday and enjoy Backlash. I am the EVP from the EVP show and the Golden Boy of DWE. And you guys come tune in tomorrow night at between 10 and 10:30 p.m. Eastern for your WWE Backlash recap show. Until then, good night. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday and Backlash. And come hit that notification bell and come join me while we discuss everything that happened on Backlash at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.